Magazine. Former Holy Spirit pitcher Mike Ianni, and he's joining us today. He's a freshman at Gwynedd-Mercy College. So we'll talk to him real quick. Again, Mike Ianni, former Holy Spirit star. Mike, welcome into the show, into the studio. Thanks for dropping by.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dave.
No problem. We'll make you a radio star now. Add that to your resume.
Yeah, right.
First off, tell us a little bit about what you're doing now, helping out the Holy Spirit team. And I know you love that school. It's going to be a part of you for the rest of your life, and how you wanted to come back and help these guys through their playoff run after your college season.
Absolutely. I mean, I kind of miss it over there, to be honest. I wish I was still there because I didn't have this. Through my 4 years of high school. We never we did compete for a state championship, but we never got this far into the tournament. So it's an honor to be part of this run. I'm honestly just there to help out and just be an extra two eyes and be an extra head over there. So I don't want to take too much of the credit for what this team has done. The coaches have done a really good job this year, and I'm just there to help out if they need it.
What's your impression of the job Steve Normain has done? I know he came in last year for your senior year. You played the first couple years under Coach Seufer over there. What's your impression of what he's been able to do over the last 2 years?
He's definitely it's definitely been a better transition, I think. He's done some things that he's changed, some things like in the practices and going from regular signs to wristband signs, and that's a big change. Mm-hmm. And just being like overall more aggressive, I think, on the bases, and I think that's what's really carried us through the state tournament is the aggressiveness on the base paths, and having Jason Downey as the pitching coach, he knows a lot too, and he helped me out last year with a few things, and he's definitely going to help out the pitchers now, Billy Kroll and Bobby Spicer. They're definitely going to grow up, and they're definitely going to have better years ahead of them.
How cool is it for you to kind of be sort of an honorary member of this coaching staff here for the last couple of weeks? I know Coach Seufer came back this year, a great bunch of guys, Mike Bucaferni, former Atlantic City guy, and it's got to be cool to be a part of this. You know, you've grown up the last couple of years through high school baseball, and you see these great coaching staffs, you know, from Absegami, Mainland, all these real great baseball guys who really are committed to the game, and it's got to be cool to now be a part of that.
Oh, absolutely. It's a great experience to have, and like I said earlier, I'm very honored to be a part of it. And yeah, those are some really good players over there at the schools you mentioned, and I'm very happy for all those players that have grown throughout high school, and now they get to grow through college as well.
We're talking with Mike Ianni, former Holy Spirit baseball star. He just finished up his freshman year at Gwynedd-Mercy College. Mike, tell us a little bit about your first year of college baseball and what the differences were between high school and college, and how you made it through that longer season.
Well, I think the first thing is that it's a completely different animal than high school. You're messing with a bulldog instead of a little puppy, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not saying high school's that easy, but it's definitely not as easy as college. And I think the hitters at that level are smarter, and they're just if you make a mistake, they're gonna hit it hard and they're gonna hit it far. And
hopefully not back at your face.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly. That's my worst nightmare. But
yeah,
thank God it hasn't happened to me yet. But again, the hitters are gonna be a lot smarter. They're going to recognize different pitches. They're going to recognize tendencies that you have. So it's very important, especially as a pitcher, to repeat your delivery every single time.
Was there a moment where you said, okay, I'm not in Kansas anymore type of thing? You know, you come in as a freshman and you have all that confidence from high school. You had a couple no-hitters last year as a senior. Was there a moment, whether it be in the fall season or the spring season, when you really realized, okay, this is a different level and there's things I'm going to have to do differently in terms of conditioning my body better, getting ready to face great hitters all throughout the lineup? Was there a moment where you stepped back and said, okay, this is a different deal?
Yeah, to be completely honest, I realized that the first time I stepped down on the mound, and first batter I faced, it got away from me and I hit him, and I realized, well, they're not going to move out of the way. So
not a great start to your college career, right?
Yeah, it really wasn't. But But I realized that, okay, these hitters aren't going to get out of the way. They're going to take that pitch. They're going to let it hit them, and they're going to take that base if they ever have the chance to. So that's when I really realized that, okay, I got to do some stuff differently. I got to locate my pitches a little bit better on the inner half of the plate, and sure enough, I did make that adjustment as the season went on.
If you're just joining us here on the South Jersey Sports Report, Sully from Glory Days Magazine filling in for Mike Franco. We're talking with Mike Ianni, former Holy Spirit baseball star. He's kind of helping out the crew as they go through the playoff run. He just finished up his freshman year at Gwynedd-Mercy College. And we're talking a little college baseball here and what the difference is between high school and college baseball. Mike, how difficult is the longer season? I mean, you get started, you do a fall season, you get started in January, you play up until end of April, beginning of May. How tough is that, just not only getting through all those games and practices, but also keeping your grades up? I know that's a big issue with a lot of freshmen, is being, especially that who play sports, is being able to keep those grades up to where they don't become ineligible for sophomore year, and really understanding how college life is different. You have so many things you're trying to balance on your plate there. What was that like for you as a freshman? It
was definitely an adjustment, I think, and it was definitely something that I had to learn fast, because it's a grind. You're going from January, the very beginning of January when you get back from winter break, and you're going all the way until the end of April, and maybe even beginning of May if you're lucky. Mm-hmm. And if you were really lucky enough, you were going to be playing until the middle of May, end of May. And
right.
It's just a grind. You have to be mentally tough about it, and keeping your grades up. That's something that you got to really focus on, because there are days where you may have a game and you have to you have to leave early in the morning, and then you have to miss those classes, and then you got to get those notes.
Right.
And it's tough. I mean, you have to rely on the teacher's notes. You have to rely on just everything that goes on, and it's definitely an adjustment. And my advice would be just to slow down and soak it all in, because if you let it go too fast, it'll just take advantage of you.
Yeah, I think a lot of high school athletes, they realize that the final day of their senior season, wow, 4 years just flew by. You know, when you're in the moment, you feel like, oh, this season's dragging on, or my high school career, they just want to get out and go to college. And then, a week after graduation, a lot of kids are like, wait, high school's over?
Yeah, exactly. That's how I've kind of felt. I mean, I felt like that as soon as I graduated, or as soon as I was a senior. I was like, man, where did those 3 years go? I didn't really. I did soak it in, but at the same time, it was just too fast to soak in. And my advice to every high school player, high school student, would be to soak in those 4 years. Remember making friends, and make as many friends as you can, honestly.
Yep. What about, how much have you learned being on your own? You have to learn a lot more about nutrition, keeping your body healthy, especially through the grind of a baseball season. I remember my sophomore year in college, I played baseball down at Pfeiffer University and went down in August at 165 pounds, came back in May at 152, and my mother was like, Dave, aren't they feeding you down there?
Yeah.
I said, Mom, I'm eating 4 meals a day. It's crazy. We got 3-hour practices, 2-hour bus rides. How tough is that to just stay healthy throughout the season in terms of keeping your weight on, and making sure you don't get sick, you don't get weak, keeping that strength up throughout the whole season?
Right. Yeah, it's very important. And when you have to realize what you're eating. You can't just eat something and expect to get good results out of it. You can't have you can't have grilled cheese every day.
Yeah.
that's just one thing that's just came to my head there. And you have to have good food before practice, after practice, so your body is staying healthy. And if you have say 2 grilled cheese sandwiches before practice, you're not going to have the best practice.
Right.
To be honest with you. Yeah. Not saying that happened to me, but I'm just
right.
saying
maybe a few times.
Yeah, maybe. But you have to watch what you eat, and I think that's what a lot of high school kids don't realize, and I think that's what some college kids don't realize too, is you got to eat something before and after a practice, or before and after a game, because if you don't, then your body's going to be hungry, and and it's just not healthy.
Real quick before we go to break here, how much do you know about crew now? I know your sister Stephanie. Was she a junior now?
Yeah, she's going to be a junior.
She's going to be a junior. Yeah. Okay, she's over there at Holy Spirit, member of the crew team. Have your parents switched allegiances to the crew side now?
Yeah, I mean she's actually I have learned a little bit about crew in the past few months, and it's a really hard sport. I have a lot of respect for crew people and getting up, especially the rowers. They go out there and they row a 5-minute race, and then they got to stay in their tents all day. Like, that's kind of mentally tough on them. But just having those early morning practices and the parents especially getting up at a very early hour when I'm still sleeping, that's definitely tough. And,
so Dave and Tina, your parents, have they put the Holy Spirit baseball stuff in the closet and now it's all crew?
Well, yeah, basically. I mean,
well, maybe not for this weekend. They'll break it out again.
Maybe not this weekend, but earlier, yes, they did have a lot of crew going on and crew meetings and stuff like that. So it was definitely a grind for not only Stephanie, but it was definitely a grind for my parents too.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. Hopefully Mike will hang out with us for a few more minutes.